right.
Okay.
We're also
All right, Vader.
recording. So what's up, guys? Welcome into another episode of the Dynamite review for 8/31/2022. Go home show for all out. Tonight was a little weird. How they had some of the setup. I'm here with Always Smoking, aka Sir Joseph Pesci, and also Fatal. Go ahead and say hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello and welcome.
And Fatal's also the other owner of SlamZoneSports.
Hold on one second, guys.
And,
I gotta go let the dog out.
Right on. And Fatal, go ahead and introduce what SlamZoneSports is to the audience.
We are Slam Zone Sports. We are a wrestling podcast, gaming podcast, all sports podcast. We talk about wrestling, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, all the above, as well as esports gaming as well. And we do live reactions and live reviews to all pay-per-views. And even some TV shows.
Yep. Anyway, guys, sorry, I had to go change the title over on Trovo. My bad. So guys, hopefully the stuff is working good. Last week we had massive dropping frames. I don't know what that was all about. Probably Spectrum. So yeah. Dynamite, Fatal, go ahead. Go ahead and give your opinion real quick. What you thought, what was good, what was not good.
The trios match was pretty good. It was to be expected. I really enjoyed the John Moxley promo. That was probably my favorite point of the whole match. Probably the high point. And it was the opener. Go figure.
Well,
I think MJF was gonna make an appearance. Yes. Was I disappointed? A little. Did I still think that CM Punk was still gonna end up facing him at All Out? Yeah. But I fully expected a Punk heel turn, and I felt like I was kind of robbed of that.
I agree with you on that one. I 100% agree with you on the whole CM Punk.
Now, while I agree with the whole Ace Steel thing coming out and, trying to talk some sense into them because they have a lot of history, this and that, trying to, rekindle a fire that's buried within Punk. I see the storyline there, but Punk should have went full heel, full bore on that promo before Ace Steel came out.
I agree with you.
The way that Ace Steel came out could have been entirely different.
100% agree. The one thing I will say about the whole CM Punk thing. What's up with the crybaby shit? Like just throughout the whole promo, like it looked like he was about to cry, like literally cry, and it was like, are we pulling a John Cena?
And that's what I'm saying. Like the whole promo could have went different. The whole heel turn could have went different. And instead we got the sentimental Punk. We got the oh, I'm down on my luck and I'm just ready to quit and walk out Punk.
Right.
No.
I didn't understand. I really didn't understand the whole really the whole beginning, middle, and end of that promo. Really, that whole beginning, middle, and end of that promo was just redonkulous. And then that falls really on AEW. Really, I'm sorry.
The worst part about it was he started to. He started the heel promo, the heel turn off really strong, that first sentence, and then it crashed and burned right afterwards.
Right, and here's the other thing I will tell you.
Sorry, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry about
Welcome
that.
back.
Hey, listen, you okay? And let me go. Oh, I'll wait till you go. Then there's something I wanted to tell you.
One thing I will say, the one thing, Fatal, I will say, to start the night with that promo, the one thing I will say, it felt to me, literally from the beginning, middle, and end, it felt like a John Cena promo. Like, just flat out at the very beginning, it fell flat, and I blame AEW for this. They got to start writing better, because CM Punk could have flipped that so many different ways. He could have said, yeah, I lost. I'm going to get back on the horse. There's so many different ways he could do that. And he could have just shit on Moxley anyway, saying, you beat me basically when I was down on my luck with my injury. And I'm going to show you next by shoving my
and when he
foot.
said he came back on, when it wasn't 100% and this and that,
Yeah, it was like a typical John Cena promo because you get that from John
Yeah.
Cena. It's like,
Right.
okay, I'm rolling my eyes. He's about ready to cry. I'm like, to the point to where are you using fake tears? Are you in the back doing this like whole pump yourself up to be sad? And it was like the crowd was booing him at first. If you didn't hear that, they were booing him. When they were going to the sad tears, and I'm like, dude, you're in
that's
Chicago.
when he should have went
Hello,
full
Celeb.
heel turn. He should have changed his promo. He should have started to take them tears and turn it against the fans. Turn on your fans, go heel. Oh, it's all your fault. The reason why I came back to defend that title, blah, blah, blah. I was listening to you too much. Boom. Full heel turn. His whole hometown crowd turns on him. He can carry that heel turn for the next whole year.
Right.
All right, hey, real quick. So, Fatal, this is what I was saying to Ray before we went on. And I said the first thing, this is my problem with AEW. Okay. Every person they brought in when they had the chance to strike when WWE was literally just the craziest shit you ever seen, releasing all the good players. First thing you do is you bring in Steve, bring in Regal. You have a roster that has people that don't talk. So what did you do? You took Moxley and Bryan Daniels. You put them together for no reason. They didn't even need to be together. Yeah, Regal might be able to talk better than both of them, but they didn't need a talker for them. They didn't need no. If you maybe wanted to put Moxley in the Combat Club, that's one thing. You didn't need to put Daniel Bryan there. You could put Moxley there with someone else. The whole Udo thing, that hasn't amounted to anything. The other thing is, when you brought in everybody you brought in that was hot from WWE, you have done your best job to cool them down. It's not about what you did tonight. Like, tonight was a decent show. It's about what you're not doing. Last week, they were in Cleveland. Wardlow's from here. So what'd they do? Let's not put him on Dynamite. Let's put him on Rampage. Because Rampage is failing right now.
They put him on Dynamite this week, though. They did.
Well, I'm talking about last week. He was in Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Think of the pop he would have got in his hometown. You
I
could
agree.
have put him in a nice, good, minor one-on-ones. You should have never gave Moxley another belt. If anything, if Punk, you could have, if Punk was always going to come back in September, it should have been just somebody, challenging him come September. This stuff, the way they did it, like you said, the crying thing, that was not that great. What he did after was good, but he's lucky they were in Chicago. I don't know how that would have been perceived. I did like the trios match, but the more and more I watch the Young Bucks, the more I see what Cornette's talking about is they just look too young. They do end up in some good matches. I do like one of the Jack. The other one's useless, man. He just looks too much like a kid. Omega's good. Ospreay is good.
Can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you real quick on something? I will say this. Every Young Bucks match looks the same to me. They do the same moves. It's all like they choreograph it before they even do it. And it's like, can you just do something new? Like, can you come out the gate, do something new instead of like these dips, flies, dives?
It's like watching the Usos.
Yeah, yes. It's the same thing.
Usos are better than the Young Bucks.
Yes, I agree with that. I do, 100%.
The Usos are capable of being in a match against, I've seen some great New Day and Uso match. Even though they did it a million times. They were
but in the same aspect, it's just repetitive. And the only thing that the Usos have over the Young Bucks is the Usos has just been that repetition of every match, the same moves every match, the same cycle every match for a longer period of time. AEW has only been around for going on 3 years. The Usos have been doing that for going on a fucking decade.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I don't hate the Usos, but I like them more as characters.
Okay, so Fatal, in the vein of what I'm trying to say is...
They do the same 4 moves, though. Fatal's right when I'm trying to think of a
Okay,
Can they
so
do
the
moves?
Usos. Okay,
No.
so here's your differences when it comes to the Usos versus the Young Bucks, right? The differences between both of them is you can have the Usos do a non-traditional flying over the top rope and whatnot, and they'll
I
do
think the
that and do
Usos look
victors.
athletic. I think they look more athletic.
They look more
And when they're next
traditionally
to the
like
rope.
wrestlers, honestly, where they don't do the dips, fly, and dives. They do it in special circumstances when they need to, in certain matches. And
Yeah,
the thing is with the Young Bucks is you see the same thing every week from them, the same
Two things
cookie
stuck out.
cutter. Go ahead.
Two things stuck out in that trios match: Omega and Osprey. Because listen, when Omega did that one, I don't know what's that DDT or that like suplex, that German suplex he does when he grabs their hands up by their head. Whatever that move is sweet. And then Osprey did one. But when you, like you said, you watch the Young Bucks, they do those super kicks and they don't even do a Shawn Michaels.
It doesn't
Like
look good. It
when
doesn't come off looking
it
good.
doesn't, the way the WWE would do the camera and the way Shawn
it's
would do the super
sloppy.
kick.
It's sloppy
Yes.
the way the Bucks do it, and
Yes.
even the way the Usos do it sometimes.
Well, the camera
Yes.
doesn't help the thing is the camera does not help the action really. When you see when you saw Shawn Michaels hit that sweet chin music, there was a build up
It looked
for
like it got somebody out. It looked like
Yeah. Like when Dolph Ziggler hits it or Shawn Michaels hits it or Adam Cole hits it, you feel the super kick coming. They build it up, and the thing with the Young Bucks is they don't. Like Kenny Omega sells you on the V trigger before it happens, so you know that something like is going to happen dramatically. And the thing with the Young Bucks, I just don't feel them. You know, the thing is, ever since they've came into AEW, I felt them at first. Now here we are. The honeymoon period is over.
No, I'll be honest. I liked them when I was watching Being the Elite. I was getting into their story in the beginning.
Right.
But ever since they let Private Party, and this was their first month, ever since they put Private Party over in front of a new audience, to me they were, and to a lot of these Americans, I don't give a fuck. They were new to a lot of people, except for the hardcore. You know what I mean? Some people don't even know to this day that. I can't imagine what I would think of the Young Bucks if I didn't leave. I'd probably hate them. But I like Omega. They got a lot of guys that could do stuff. The question is, where are these guys on their contracts now? And are they still believe in AEW? This MJF thing is just from where he was and how hot he was to where they've cooled that down. They've done their best to cool down everything hot they've brought in. I'm not saying Kyle O'Reilly and Bob Fish were going to be the next thing, but you could have done more with.
Can I?
I
I'm gonna interrupt you with that one. The thing with the whole MJF, they had a contract dispute, and I don't blame him for that. You know, the one thing that people don't realize is MJF deserves to be paid more for what he does, and the thing is, he finally got what he wants. That's been stated that he sat down with Tony Khan and they reached an agreement. So, which tells me that they're saving him for All Out, which makes sense. You want to give him that big push. And the thing about FTR, I feel really bad for them, but I understand it in a game aspect. They got to sell DLC. And I guarantee this game is not going to be $60. I guarantee their first offering is going to be like, I'm going to say 45. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to sell you on DLC. I think the FTR thing's going to be.
I'll tell you this. If Kenny Omega isn't making them at 60 for their first game, then something's up.
Well, it's already come out that
and this is why I say that. Kenny Omega's supposed to be this video game guy.
Right.
So if he says your game's 60, so it's like if he put out a $40 game, unless he said, hey guys, this is a $60 game, we're doing you on the. See, it wouldn't make no sense.
Well, Kenny Omega came out and did admit that the game's not going to have all your favorite wrestlers. He said they expect to be the first offering, not to be the be all end all. But the thing is with that is that tells me that the price is going to be cheap and they're going to have tons of DLC, which they're going to compensate with the extra with going cheap. They're going to have a season pass and probably somewhat of a DLC pack, because they showed off at Gamescom, right? One of the biggest events that they have in on Europe side, and they showed off the game, and the first thing they showed off was Paul White wrestling versus, I think it was John Moxley or somebody, and they were I don't know who, I think it was and they were clubbing him, and he wasn't going down, and the fists were going through the character, and the first thing you hear from Uno is, "Whoops, our bad." He was panicking within that moment because they knew that was a glitch.
Yeah, and Uno's a part of it too. Yeah, and I know he's a video gamer. And the Dark Order, I know they're trying to keep that going. And they were never supposed to make a big. Here, hey Tony, did you ever say it out loud? We're gonna call something dark, baby. And if you believe for 1 second, Tony, since our boy passed away, that the Dark Order is any more over today than they were 300 whatever days ago it was since Brody passed, they're no better than they were. They came out and said, "No, we're still here to stay." Well, problem with Pizza Uno, that's what what's his calls him, is he looks unathletic. So you need to make him a mouthpiece. You can't be throwing him out as the wrestler. I remember when they let him invent a Dynamite. I was Hogan. Company is missing their app. They have like Ricky Starks, Hobbs. They threw him out for a main event. You got Castanova. Where was he tonight?
They save him for Rampage. What you were saying earlier, before we even launched the stream tonight, when you were saying was that
you're not doing well enough booking to save Castanova for Rampage, Tony. You got to bring out your players. You're not. You could have had him on Rampage if you would have played your Dynamite cards right. And why the fuck is Wardlow in fucking triple threat matches every week? Quit doing that so you don't have to put him. You know what he's thinking? Well, if I put him in solo matches, he'll get fucking washed out or, watered down. Well, he is your television champion. It's supposed to, in history, get defended on TBS. That's the point of that belt. So the fans can understand one belt getting defended every week. It's the goddamn television belt because that's what it always meant to do. Which they call the TBS. But I remember that belt when I was in 91, when it was the TNT, TBS, their television title. It wasn't as nice.
Fatal, what do you think about all this, about what we're talking about? I don't know, Fatal, you here, buddy?
We keep losing.
My bad. What was the question?
Well, we were talking about we were talking about AEW. You're talking about AEW's
No, I
game.
heard most of it.
We were talking about AEW's game. We were talking about...
Oh, yeah, the video game, on how it's not going to include most of the characters and this and that, and how Kenny Omega is a big video game guy.
Well, we were talking about pricing. I think the pricing is going to be a little bit... It's going to come in
I think it's going to be a little bit humbler than what you think. I don't think it's going to be a $60 game. I think it's going to be $39.99.
No.
Wow. I thought then that's them saying they failed. To me, if Kenny Omega, the video game guy, ain't giving you a $60 game, that's kind of...
No, but how many people are going to go out and buy the game at $60, versus just watching other people play it and see if they want to buy it?
I think if there's one thing the AEW crowd is that video game crowd. So I think they would have enough of their just fans that maybe not even play video games buy that game just to have it as their collection of AEW bullshit. Or you know what I mean, that bullshit. I will be surprised if it's a $40 game. If it's a $40 game and all this time that's telling you something, because that's a lot of money to pass. And if I was Kenny Omega, hey guys, not only did I get a $40 game, it's a $40 game, but I'm getting... Damn, 40 Omega?
Yeah, I think the game drops at $40, and I think they put DLC in it.
Even if they sold 1 million copies, what's 1 million times 20? That's 20 million. That $20 there. And I'll be shocked. I could be wrong.
Wow.
be shocked,
So if you guys go look at the trailer for AEW's Fight Forever, they're giving you the original THQ logo in the trailer.
What does that mean?
The original THQ logo, THC Nordic, is turning back into THQ.
Oh, is that
New
a
owner,
video game thing?
new ownership. I forgot they're going back to the original THQ logo from back in the day. So that's gonna be a shot at WWE if you think about it. Think of the reverse of that. THQ and Ukes making a video game and not a WWE product. That is shocking in 2022 to me.
Yep. All I'm saying is if they release it for $40, more people buy it. And then if more people buy it, more people get into it. It
I
opens the
guess you're
door
right.
for
I mean, I guess
more
you're right. I just thought that's a
DLC,
lot of money. You
more
don't see
added
many games.
characters, and then you get you double that. You double that off of DLC.
Yeah. If anything, it'll be 50 out the door with tax.
They haven't. They said pricing to be announced soon. So which is telling me if this is the case, if pricing's going to be announced, I'm assuming they're going to go the safe direction, Fatal. I think I agree with you there. I think they'll go 45 to about $39.99. I think what they'll do is they'll have a bundle for it, I think, where it will be 60, where you get a battle pass of some sort or something of the range or a pass for DLC, and then you'll get it over like year one. I don't think, and this is my personal opinion, I don't think they're going to come out with AEW Fight Forever 2 for a good 2 years after this. Because I think what they're going to do is they're going to see what the consensus is, and then they'll work on the next one.
Or they'll just see if they could just add DLC to this one and make it bigger.
Right. But they're going to make a second one. There's always going to be a number 2.
Of course.
Or they'll call it something else for the next one or something. I just hope they don't go down the route of calling it like Fight Forever 2045, blah, 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 through the, years and years and years. You know what I mean? Now, here's my question is, are they going to release special edition controllers? There's so many different things they could do with this, too. Like fight sticks and whatnot to go alongside of it. The graphics look nice. I will put it that way. Graphics look fucking phenomenal. So what did you think of the Christian Cage Fate? I'll leave that one to you and Jungle Boy. What did you think of the segment tonight?
To be honest, I missed that segment.
It's technically the same as same old. Basically, my dad, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like Christian's way bigger than that. I don't feel like that needed to be ever a segment.
Yeah, Christian was doing fine walking Luchasaurus out to the ring.
Right, and that was honestly really good.
That was good.
And it was going the right direction, and then it just
Jungle
kind
Boy's
of
going
failed.
Yeah.
Honestly, I will put it this way, Jungle Boy, and I was telling this to when you were gone for a moment. When we were watching it, I was telling Pesci that I was like, this shit is awful. Jungle Boy needs a manager behind him because he's too green right now. He's way too green to be on tell. He can't even cut a good promo. It's like I'm sitting here pointing the finger and I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I get it. Your dad should have gave you some good acting coaching job because literally you don't have it right now. You need a manager. You should have they should have never had these two go out at each other. But I get why they did. Because they gotta give Christian something at this point because he wasn't doing anything being a manager. Me and Pesci and yourself have been talking about this for weeks, months, that it didn't make any sense why Christian was literally a manager to begin with.
Well, they see Christian cut these cool-ass promos, and you're like, whoa, all right, let's keep that up. Then all of a sudden you're having Jungle Boy do his shit, and he sounds awful.
Well, we were talking about this months ago when Christian came back and he was doing his thing, and then we started having these comparisons about Edge and Christian, And we were all saying like Christian was cutting these amazing promos while Edge was doing the really good storylines. And then it tapered off and then it fizzled out. And Edge has so far had the better comeback since being back personally. And Christian on the other side has been manager when his whole spigot was, I'm better than everybody else and I will outwork.
I outwork everyone. And he was the Impact champion. Since he was Impact champion, he hasn't wrestled.
No. And he should be wrestling every week.
I don't know if that's because he's been hurt or he's only his contract told him. But dude, I like what they were doing with him, and you didn't have to get him away from the horse. That made no sense.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me.
Because all they're doing is re-hinting that Luchasaurus is going to turn on dude again. So
now here's my question on the commentary booth. Have you guys noticed the last couple of weeks Tony Schiavone has not been on the booth? You notice that? He's been doing more announcing, now being a interview guy than an actual on the desk. You notice that?
my only guess is four is a crowd, and the knock on him is he doesn't know the.
What was that?
Talking to me?
Yeah. You were saying something. Sorry.
Oh, I thought Fatal was saying about. No, I said Giovanni's problem is, and it'd be the same with me. He doesn't know the new lingo, the moves, the histories, the blah blah blahs.
Right.
You know what I mean? And JR, it's not that Jim Ross knows a lot of these guys, but Jim Ross is just more of a traditional announcer that can evolve a little bit better than Giovanni.
Right. Also,
Giovanni, people didn't put this in consideration. When Giovanni did Nitro, he knew Flair. He knew these guys. He was watching every day. Yeah, he was, and he has been around, and he does do that Evolution show with Big Show. So at the same time, he should be a lot farther along. But
yeah,
I like the idea of just 3 instead of 4.
right, and I agree having a couple of guests on the panel, when they're doing the matches, because I do like Regal and I do like, Jericho to a certain extent. They complement each other when they're commentating.
If you're not going to have Regal be a heel manager, then you need to put him on their announcement. I mean,
right.
It's common sense. It's like WWE. WWE should have had Booker as an announcer a long time ago with Lawler. If we're going to pay those two, why don't we have them be announcers? Yeah, Lawler really can't be the guy he used to.
Put them on SmackDown. Like Booker was good when he was on SmackDown as an announcer.
What was their knock on him?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I felt like he was good as an announcer.
I want to know who had a problem with Booker, because everyone they put after Booker, it was like, where's Booker?
Or maybe it was Booker's decision,
The only
maybe he wanted to walk away. Because I think when he walked away from announcing there at SmackDown is when he joined TNA and he had another run wrestling.
Rinaldi. That was the only guy I liked that they brought in. I mean,
Ronaldo? Yeah, I agree with that. Mario Ronaldo? I agree with that.
He was good. He actually had that off-the-jump voice where I'm like, oh, I like that. But then they moved him to NXT, and before you know it, he was fired.
He's gone. He's
you could think Mr. Cowboy.
Well, he's actually doing boxing, Fatal. I saw him at a boxing.
Yeah, he does Showtime pay-per-view boxing and HBO's Time.
Because I heard him, and I'm like, wow, he sounds great for this boxing match. And I'm like, WWE missed the boat.
Well, the thing is with him, it was because John Bradshaw Layfield and Laurinaitis got him fired. Yeah, they got him thrown out of WWE, and it was really bad when it happened because he was the best thing about NXT. When they brought in him, and they at the time they had Corey Graves, him, and someone else on the mic,
Nigel or whatever.
And it worked, and it just worked. It was great. Nigel knew the matches. Knew the moves.
Saxon and Corey Graves by themselves work fine. You could maybe add another wrestler with them. You don't need to add a no-namer. That's what kills those three. I
think the UFC guy, the former UFC announcer guy on Raw should go.
Oh, that's who he is. Yeah, he should go. That's where he came from.
He's
See, I didn't
robotic.
know that.
Yeah, he's robotic. He's just
I
really
don't
horrible.
even hear him at times. At times you're struggling to hear what he's bringing to the announcing, other than announcing. Coming up next match, Jim Crick versus Andre the Giant. Whatever.
So, the women's match. What do we think about that? What do we think about the tag team match? We had Tony Storm and.
That's more for you guys to rate because I'm not really into the women's wrestling.
I really rated either.
I'd rather have the women with the guys. I'd rather have them integrated with the guys.
Here's what I
give me a
think.
Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair match. I like those kind of women. Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey. That was good.
Here's my thing: is they should take the women's wrestling thing and just add it as another show. Personally, like. I've had this opinion and for a minute, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I see this wrong. But I think what they should do is take Rampage, put it on Thursdays. On TBS. Just put it on Thursdays. And then you have Wednesday, Thursday.
I don't think it's a good enough show to be on Thursday.
I think Fatal proposes.
It's a bad time slot, so that's why they get it.
You put it on Thursday, you make it 2 hours, and then you promote it better on Dynamite. The reason why that Rampage isn't doing so well, did you see a single fucking promo for Rampage tonight on Dynamite in 2 hours?
No.
Not a single fucking one.
No.
And it's literally 2 days before All Out.
Well, here's my thing. Here's my thing fatal to that, right? Tony Khan keeps saying, "Oh, I'm trying to compete with SmackDown. I'm trying to compete with them." No, you're not. If you were competing with them, you would put shit behind it.
Yeah, you would be promoting it.
It needs to be live every week.
He says that out loud.
He needs to put it live. I can't stand the fact that he's now talking about.
Well, Rampage is supposed to go live starting in October.
Well, okay, so in September, they're going to be competing with NXT because...
Rampage should have always been at their Jacksonville location live.
Yes.
Like an NXT show.
Yes.
Like an NXT, and then you fill that place. Whether you got to give people free tickets, where they had the COVID at. Rampage should be where they did the COVID. I don't know if, because football is going on, if that kills that.
It probably does because it's in their stadium.
But
it's in Jacksonville Stadium.
It's on a Friday, though.
Okay, so but here's
so that's usually a football player's off day.
So here's what Tony Khan wants to do going forward. So AEW is going to be going back to Tuesday nights when the MLB playoff starts happening. They're going to be competing with NXT. We're going to really see, and I'm going to tell you this, we're going to really see where the numbers lie when NXT and...
I got a question for both of you, too, after that. About that. Go for
when you see both of these companies go at each other, we're gonna really see. Because right now WWE's on an uprise, and the scary part to me is with AEW, Tony Khan keeps doing what he is doing. He's gonna lose some fans. It's already happening, and the thing is with him,
the way he's booking is enough booking to keep his current fans. That's it.
Right.
Like, it's not like I'm going anywhere. He's done enough to keep those like, there's like 1 million wrestling fans out there, like us, just amongst us, that will always just, like, follow the product. But he made it sound like they were growing when they brought Punk. This is the beginning of new stuff, and think of all the stuff we've done. I guess they've done a lot of stuff except for raise their audience. I don't know. Maybe they do have... The Young Bucks did once say, I couldn't imagine a lot of our fans having having cable. A lot of our fans follow us online. So they used to say that in the beginning. I wonder where their thoughts are on it. If I could ask them one thing, do you guys believe more of your fans don't have cable? Is that why you guys don't hit 2 million?
Well, here's the thing is, did you see the segment tonight when CM Punk called out this guy in the audience, called him a fat blah, 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 and then he said, whoops, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Whoops, I'm so sorry. Like, he was like literally cutting this beautiful thing because I guess a fan was heckling him in the audience.
Thank you, Adele.
And he pointed at him live on camera and pointed at him, called him some fat waste of space or something like that. And then he went, oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to do that. Whoops, my bad. Yep, I can't. because of the new sanctions that they've been doing on their show, because they want to please TNT and TBS, because the owner of Discovery Warner Group now does not like scripted
Thanks,
television.
Queen. No, you're right. They.
He
and the
fucked up.
question is
He fucked up he fucked up that segment, and I went, "Oh, here we go." Now he's got to make something out of nothing because he screwed up. He just realized he screwed up, and you could see it on his face when he did it. Like,
the question is this. Let's just say they always hold the 900 to $1 million. Is TNT, with the new moves being done, I guess there's something being done from the top, will they keep that slot they have with the million fans? And the 900 and the swearing and
the Discovery Warner guy, Zaslav, he has stated he doesn't like scripted television. What is wrestling? A scripted product. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but you can make the argument to that guy that it ain't.
Right, but at the same moment, he thinks this way, and all accounts is AEW's contract's almost up with do they continue, or does Tony Khan go, well, screw it, I'll go to Netflix? I bring my live television to Netflix, as Netflix has been talking about wanting to do live wrestling shows, that they've been in talks with WWE for a minute to bring their shows off of Fox and pay them a whole mess of money. So, to me, I could totally see Tony Khan pulling a swerve and going to Amazon or one of them. I really could, and go live that way like the NFL does for their Thursday Night Football. I could see it.
And I believe, isn't Raw back up to $2 million now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so see what happens when WWE gets hot. And not only are they hot right now, you're still curious on, okay, they got some more stuff going on. What are they going to do with Johnny Wrestling? And I'm not even a Johnny Wrestling guy. But what Triple H showed you was, yeah, these guys might not be the greatest things in the world, but they kind of add to our show. And there is enough people into them, to get the at least crowd going. Yeah, we might not add anybody with Johnny Wrestling, but at least we're going to get our diehards.
And not only are they seeing that, but they're seeing that the door is open for formerly released superstars by Vince McMahon over the past 2 years to now step back through and come in and
Look at
have a
Dakota
really
Kai.
good run.
She looks pretty decent.
Look
Like I
at
said, I
Karrion
like
Kross.
the Dakota Kai effect.
Yeah, look at
Karrion
Karrion
Kross is
Kross.
back.
He was basically wrote off of television. He was killed. His call up was dead. Absolutely dead. You had him job to Jeff Hardy. You
Okay, so I do apologize. So let's go over this match card that's happening for Sunday.
Hello, my queen.
So you guys ready for it? So we got Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. We have the AEW. Well, Rampage is going to be interesting because we're going to see who's going to be in the finale for the AEW World's Trios Champion finale. We're going to have the AEW.
Fatal, did you agree with me on the Steven Regal thing? They should have put Regal with somebody else, not Moxley and Daniel Bryan.
I don't know. I think Regal's doing good where he's at, though.
And why haven't they not brought in Regal's son? I know he signed with NXT, but I was like, damn, his father's over. Wouldn't you want to be with your father more than being in WWE? But I kind of understand why. I understand,
I hate listening to Tony Khan defend his sound so. He doesn't defend it in a professional. There's a way to defend your shit professionally. He made a couple good points with the CM Punk shit the one time, but then that just made CM Punk's ego later. Once you told him he was number one and blah blah blah.
Well, Tony Khan. See, the thing is, Tony Khan has been teasing for a while. Like his shows are like the be all end all. And the thing is, he goes on Busted Open Radio or one of these podcasting places, and he'll shoot his mouth off. And it's the one thing I wish he would stop talking. Say, yeah, our product is good, but it needs improvement. Like, here's the thing. You don't have a deal for Ring of Honor. We don't know where that's going. And day by day, you keep pushing people.
I hate that they show Ring of Honor belts, but no Ring of Honor show. That's why you need to do something with Rampage and somehow convert it to a Ring of Honor thing without getting TBS.
Well, here's the thing that Tony
Well,
Khan.
imagine Rampage going 2 hours, and for the second hour you have all ROH.
I'm cool with Ring of Art with.
Well,
Rampage
here's
going
what
2
Tony
hours.
Khan wants to
I'm
do
not
with
against longer wrestling shows.
So
I'm not against
here's what Tony Khan wants to do with Rampage and everything going forward. From what he has stated, he wants to tape, and I said this is insane. So just picture being a fan at an event. You're sitting for 4.5 hours. He wants to give you Rampage, All Elite Women, and then Dynamite. So you're sitting there for 4 hours. Who wants to sit there for 4.5 hours? Meanwhile, you have to go to work and everything the next day. It's like, to me, Tony Khan should have these all separated. While they're filming Dark, they should have All Elite Women being filmed, put on YouTube or whatever, or go shop it around, wherever you need to shop it around, Paramount Plus, whatever. And I think Rampage should go to 2 hours. I personally think, I agree with you guys, 2 hours. And you put Ring of Honor.
They destroyed Dark. I tried watching Dark yesterday. I was like, oh shit.
Dark is just becoming a developmental talent type deal, people they're scouting
Taz,
on.
That show's done. And Elevation, I forget what day it is on. It still has Schiavone and Big Show.
Well, Elevation is their Monday Night Raw, technically, what they're going for, and it on YouTube. But the thing is with it is that they need to put it on TV. It's much better than Dark. It's way better than Dark. And I think Paul White's coming in on his own on being a commentator guy. He wants to come back as Captain Insano. I think it would be hilarious to see that. He's got the rights and everything for it, and Tony Khan gave him the okay to do so. So I think, Paul White's last run should be like that. I think it would be perfect. My whole thing is AEW's got to fix, literally got to fix, honestly, their whole pacing. As a fan going to these events, the scripting needs to be a little bit better. The way they book needs to be a little bit better. And they need to start bringing these people that they have sitting in the back burner. Like, for instance, Colt Cabana, like Brian Cage, like the Redeemer. They need to do more, bring in CJ Perry to be his manager. They need to do a lot more for these wrestlers before WWE calls them back. And they do go to WWE and they do have a better career over on the other side. And then we go, well, their AEW run was Malnuke, so who gives a shit? Their WWE's better. I just don't want to see what happened with WCW in AEW. What happened with WCW is a lot of their wrestling talent was misutilized and not booked properly. And the top guys got where they needed to be while the others got shoved. And then, you brought in bad creative, and then we all know what happened with WCW. But it's just my personal opinion. I think AEW could turn this around. They can make it way, way better. I think Tony Khan is way stretched too thin. I think he bought Ring of Honor, and I personally think he's just stretching it way too thin. He's stretched way too thin.
He needs managers on each show that are running each show.
He needs a creative team on each one.
Yes.
He needs a creative team on each one of those products. And
then he focuses mainly on Dynamite and pay-per-views.
Well, focus on the main storylines. Like, you can have an input. I'm not saying Vince McMahon had an input on everything, but delegate that out to other people. He's running a football team for Europe. He's also running a football team here in the States. He's running something else. He's running 3 different sports leagues and shit like that. And it's like,
what up, Ashby?
How many jobs can one man do before, he just can't do it no more? Something is going to fall short, With that many things on your task list every day, something is getting put on the back burner.
Right.
And, for Tony Khan and wrestling being his second option for money making, it's going to be wrestling that gets put on the back burner before football.
Right. And also brings up the question is, what happens if TNT does not re-sign them or extend their contract and they have to go somewhere else?
That's where I'm at. Is if they just keep where they are at now and keep that million.
Is it good enough?
That million, in today's day with cable as down as it is, like Dave Meltzer down every.
Well, my thing is, I wouldn't mind.
They might become Impact.
I wouldn't mind I wouldn't mind seeing AEW go, well, hey, TNT, maybe we don't renew, maybe they don't extend, and maybe they go to Netflix or an Amazon Prime and they become
That
a
was
little bit.
another thing they failed when AEW tried to do that Impact little thing they did. They didn't do that well. That
No.
crossover
Nope.
could have been a lot more heartfelt.
Yep.
It's the problem. It's not about it's their wrestlers or anything.
Yeah, but that's not entirely AEW and Tony Khan's fault either, because it's on the record stating that Scott
Yeah.
D'Amore was a really hard person to deal
Yeah,
with.
I'm guessing it probably was not
Scott
on it.
D'Amore, Scott D'Amore, and also New Japan Pro Wrestling haven't gotten along either. He's very stubborn in his ways, and Ed Nordholm is stuck in his way. The problem with Impact, and I will say this on this show, and I watch Impact religiously.
They're run by Anthem, they're owned by Anthem, which is Ed Nordholm product, and then
on
Scott
his
D'Amore's
network.
a big fucking Anthem guy, he's all up Ed Nordholm's ass.
The problem is it's not so much, and if we're going to get into talking about what happened today, a lot of Impact wrestlers requested the release. And
Good Brothers are gone. The Good Brothers are gone, and they're looking to either head to New Japan, and there's rumors they might go back to WWE to reunite with AJ, or they're going to AEW.
Well, my thing is that they'll probably land back in WWE, but the thing is, Impact's losing stars. And the reason why is they're not on a good network. They're probably not paying their wrestlers. They're probably paying them per appearance. The only good site that I see is their women's division with Taya Valkyrie. And it's a shame Taya Valkyrie is not in AEW right now. That is just blasphemy why she is not in AEW at all, or Jordan Grace, or any of these people, because their women's division in AEW right now, hearing about Thunder Rosa, and I think that whole situation is stupid in itself. But I understand why Tony Khan is doing it. And a lot of people don't realize this. And I was listening to somebody on
use the restroom real quick.
I was listening to somebody on YouTube talking about this, right? And I agree with it 100%. Is you gotta please your people up above, right? The Warner Brothers / Discovery Media Group, right? And whatever Zelensky or whatever his name is, that owns complete control of both. And the other chick, I think, the other chick that is co-CEO, they don't like scripted television. So what do you do? You please them, and what it looks like to me, Tony Khan is just allowing fuck all to appeal to the execs to keep.
Yeah, that's true. You can see it in their promos. They're kind of on the wing, off the fly, just delivering whatever comes off the top of their head, like a fucking, like an improv.
You could see that, and I started picking up on that, and then I was listening to this guy talking about it, and I was just like, that makes sense. You see it when John Moxley comes out. You could totally see that he's not on a script. He's just picking up a mic and go. Eddie Kingston, pick up a mic and go. And I get why all these reports, now it makes sense with all the reports. It puts it in perspective with all the reports coming out the locker room is this. Because Tony Khan puts that out there like that.
Just go with it and feed off the crowd is what they're being told to do.
Yeah.
Go with it, feed off the crowd, and if you feel like you're not over with the crowd, then just end it,
Right.
Call somebody out for a fight, and that'll pick it up.
Right. So the matches for this weekend: Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho, AEW World Trios Champion finale, or finale, whatever you want to say.
That's the final. That's the grand final.
Then we got AEW Interim Women's Championship, and by the way, Thunder Rosa ain't hurt. We can establish.
Can we please stop the interim championships?
Yes, I agree. And the Undisputed Championship names over and over again.
Stop it.
5 times a year.
Stop it.
What's next? All Atlantic.
I'm over it.
All Atlantic Undisputed Champion.
This has even flooded and crossed over into the NWA scene. Like, they just had on their NWA Night 74, whatever the fuck it was, Night 2, their big pay-per-view they had.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, like, the Requiem, whatever the fuck their name is, came and entered themselves in the battle royal to try to unify 2 different tag team championships.
Yeah, they're doing the whole they're doing a North American tag team belt or something like that. I don't really
Yeah.
follow NWA like that
What the
like I used
fuck?
to.
It was the United States champion or tag team titles.
Well, the
Is
thing
what it
is,
was on NWA.
NWA. The thing is with NWA, and I've always said this, is Billy Corgan owning it. He's trying to keep it nostalgia, right? He's trying to keep it old school NWA, but you're in a bingo hall. You're on Fight TV. Here's my
But
thing.
that's what they did on the old school, right? They
No,
were fighting in
no
bingo halls.
NWA. No, NWA was actually in a news studio, and they would cut amazing promos with Ric Flair. The problem is with Billy Corgan owning it. He's trying to keep his nostalgia, but it's falling flat because he's not getting with the times with NWA. NWA is still doing this old traditional shit, and they're trying to get by with doing the old traditional shit when he needs to.
How are they still able to have all these stars on there? Just, I don't get it.
They get paid per appearance.
Well, yeah, they must be getting paid well for guys like EC3. You know, when the fuck is Nick Aldis going to stop taking daily pay from fucking NWA and join a real
Is
promotion?
EC3 in NWA?
He just fucking wrestled on their fucking pay-per-view. Yeah,
but
that was his
EC3 has his
debut.
own promotion, they said.
Well, the rumor
I
has
thought he
it.
started his own-
EC3 is the leader of Control Your Narrative, which is his little faction of fucking, you know.
Well, it's actually a wrestling promotion, and I can answer that. Braun Strowman is in talks with WWE. That's the rumor to go back to WWE. I don't know why. I understand Bronson Reed.
I'm not shocked. Triple H. I can see Triple H.
And that's probably why EC3 showed up on NWA.
I understand Bronson Reed. I 100% get that. You know what I mean? I totally get it. Here's my thing with the All Out match card. Why the fuck do we have FTR and Wardlow versus Jay Lethal and the Motor Machine Guns? Why
isn't Wardlow defending his title?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why isn't Wardlow? And you have all these guys you could put.
You should just have FTR
Kyle
versus
O'Reilly, Bob Fish, any of those guys. Tony Nese, Tony Abs guy or whatever. You could put him in a match versus Wardlow.
Or you could just do Jay Lethal versus Wardlow for the TNT title.
You could have
and
FTR
have Wardlow squash Jay Lethal and have FTR versus the fucking Machine Guns. And
I really thought they should have had FTR versus Swerve and no disrespect to the Acclaim.
No,
I like the Acclaim.
The Acclaim need this. The Acclaim need this shot, and I think they're gonna win.
Well, here's my booking on that. You have the Acclaim be number one contenders, literally, and then what you do is you have FTR. You have FTR win it, right? Let FTR have the AEW titles for a minute, have them be full of gold, and then drop the belts to them.
No, you don't have FTR drop the titles to the Acclaimed. Are you kidding?
Not all their belts, just the AEW one.
No, you don't drop titles to the Acclaim, not if you're FTR. You take the titles from the Acclaim. The Acclaim can beat Swerve and Lee.
I don't think the Acclaim are walking out as champions. I may be wrong with that one.
I see it happening. I see it happening, and I see
FTR to keep winning. I like FTR.
I want to see Swerve and Keith break up, even though they're kind of on a roll, and they're kind of starting to mesh together. But Lee needs to be more in singles competition anyway.
I agree with that. And then also, let's see, Kip Sabian coming back. That's going to be interesting. Do you give him the All Atlantic Championship? Do you have Pac lose it right now?
No.
I've never really liked Kip Sabian.
Yeah, I didn't really care for Kip.
He hasn't done enough. I mean, I liked his girl way.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the chance to fight for the title, but I don't feel like it's good to drop the title to him.
Yeah, not right now. You guys made too many mistakes to make a heat.
Not only the fact, and that's just like saying you don't have him drop the title. You don't have Pac drop the title on his first, actual kind of defense on AEW television.
Right.
Whether it be pay-per-view or not, Dynamite or not, you don't have him drop the title his first one on there. He's been basically just going around and defending it on this and that promotion, this and that show, and promoting the shit out of the championship. Now it's time to prove its ground on the home turf.
Right.
So you have Pac win, and then I feel like after
I
this
like
whole
Pac, too. I like
after
Pac.
this whole feud with Redeemer, with Miro, and he's got Sting and Darby on his side, after they beat the House of Black, you have a big triple threat with Malachi Black, Miro, and Pac for the All Atlantic Championship.
Well, but here's the deal. I don't like the fact how they're booking it. Me and Pesci here have been talking about this. Aleister Black should not have taken a pin. It made his credibility go down real quick.
Well, they got all these. You brought on all these new WWE guys. You should be raising their value. You got enough shitty guys there for them to beat up on. Besides them knocking each other off, like Swerve and Keith Lee should not have ever been tagged. Keith Lee, if anything, you could have put Regal with Keith Lee and had him talk for him. You put him in the Combat Club.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. And you know what the thing is to me tonight? What I didn't understand, they're going backwards with Daniel Garcia.
Daniel Bryan, now he's going to be a good guy again, and he could have been a bad guy, and he was doing great as a bad guy.
Well, Daniel Garcia, I don't understand. Now he's going back with the combat with the Appreciation Society after shitting on him.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what they're doing. That's bad booking.
I'm not really into Garcia. I'm not into Garcia. I get he could wrestle. That's about it.
Well, Garcia, you could have put him.
Yeah, that's about all he is.
Garcia, you could put him in the BVC and literally the Combat Club. You could put him in that, and he would do great wonders. I think he could be really good. The thing is with Chris Jericho, he just doesn't fit it. I don't understand. I get the 2.0. I get the 2.0 because Chris Jericho was high on them. He brought him in. Okay, cool. Mentor him. Great. Chris Jericho in itself, I think I'm going to say this, and I'm going to probably get
credit. And why isn't Sammy Guevara in no good solo matches? Because he got married?
Well,
because I just saw him with Cody Rhodes.
Well, they're doing a lot in Mexico, too, for AAA and that mixed tag team championship thing. That's
they've been fighting every week, what it looks like. And,
Yeah, that whole mixed tag team title is new for AAA, so they're like all around doing all that shit down in Mexico. I'm just saying,
on Dynamite, your bread and butter show, we see too many new guys in there and guys that don't,
Yeah, but that's because their roster's so huge, and all the big newscaster reporters all are saying, "Oh, we don't see this guy, we don't see that guy, we don't see this guy."
There's turmoil in the locker room.
Now they're trying to please too many people instead of just pleasing the fucking audience and putting on a good show. Because I don't know if anybody agrees with me on this or not, but every week that I watch Dynamite and I pay attention to the stories, if they don't feel like one thing went over one week, they go back to what they knew worked. It's kind of like a WCW curse, because I feel like I'm watching an old tennis game. Because okay, well, Daniel Garcia this week, he's turning on Chris Jericho, and it's great. It's popping a little bit. Oh, but we didn't get that much of a reaction out of that as we would have if he just would have stayed with them. Oh, so we're just going to go with that this week.
Well, okay.
They use Garcia so much when you got all these other good wrestlers. We're seeing Garcia more than we see Wardlow.
Well, let me tell you this. The guy, top flight guy, that guy,
Dante Martin.
Dante Martin. They had this guy up in the roof as a top guy.
Put him in the Combat Club. He can't talk. Regal should have been with all the guys that look good and talk.
Well, his brother got hurt. He's hurt again. His brother's injury prone. What I would do is release his brother, just be done with him, cut ties, because he's injured all the time. He's injury prone. Kind of like what Kenta was, or Hio Itami in WWE. What I would honestly do is I would make what's his face for Top Flight. I would make that guy a top star. That's what they were doing. Dante Martin, they were making him into a top guy, and he was getting top guy level matches, and then all of a sudden, AEW just like they 1 minute they go with, okay, you're a top guy, and then the next minute you're back to mid card in a matter of, they just don't know what to make their minds. Or what they'll do is they'll replay the same thing over and over again. And guess who did that for the longest time and it got stale? WWE did during the Vince McMahon last 2 years era of Vince McMahon. Now, where WWE is going to succeed, where AEW is not going to succeed, and here and this is me. I'm not trying to compete between the two companies. I like both. Where you're going to see WWE do better is in storyline. You're going to start seeing Triple H really give you good storyline without having to say bitch or F, middle finger. He's going to show you why NXT was great. And he's bringing in NXT guys and ladies to make the product better. And he's changing their names and pleasing the fans. Triple H has been a internet guy. So he's always viewing the internet kind of like what Tony Khan's doing. But what Triple H does is he doesn't go and respond to everybody like Tony Khan does. Anytime Tony Khan gets criticized, he's back down central or he's having an argument. And that's been the thing with AEW since the exception. Or Kenny Omega, what these guys need to do is stop talking about their product and stop trying to please everybody. I agree with Fatal with that one. You know.
Yeah, stop. You're right. Yeah, stop talking. Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing I don't understand with AEW. It's like, you want to please the hardcore fan. Great, cool. You brought a company out. We're now out the honeymoon period. It's over. You can't recreate the John Moxley coming in and the Brody Lee and that's long and gone. You got to work what you got now. And the thing is, you should bring in Brian Cage. Brian Cage should be brought in. Samoa Joe should be brought in.
You did have him. There's another scrub up. You had him and you didn't even do anything. You really didn't do shit with him.
You had Colt Cabana that was doing well in New Japan that had kind of being treated mid-cart, kind of not mid-cart in Ring of Honor. And you brought him in just to put him in a carny gimmick with the Dark Order. CM Punk shows up in the building. And supposedly they don't like each other still, but CM Punk says, no, they're perfectly fine. They converse together. And then you throw him and pay him big money to be on Ring of Honor. That just makes no sense to me. They're paying these guys to a show that doesn't exist. With titles that look like, oh, well, here's a belt. You defend it every month. It's just my personal opinion. I think Ring of Honor is dead in the water. And the luster that they sold, they hyped it up. And now it just looks like, where is it? Tony Khan, you're a salesman, but you don't deliver the goods. You're a great talker, but you don't deliver the goods. And that's where Tony Khan and I think a lot of the fans are gonna people are gonna turn to what product is better, and they're gonna love the product that's better. That's just how always wrestling fans have been. Us guys here that are talking, we're hardcore. We'll watch whatever, as long as it's decent and it's not I want to fall asleep like Vince McMahon era stuff. You know, like we turn on the Raw and we're like, oh, well, shit, that's pretty good. The whole Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins, we're turning around and going, shit, that's fucking fantastic. Shoot, he's saying F this and F that, and they're blurping him. That's never been done in a while. So, you know, that's the thing with they can do little promos like that in AEW, but they can blurp it out like WWE does. They don't have to bleed and curse all the time. They just need to make good matches and book the right talent in the right place. Just my personal opinion. You know, I just really think, you know, Tony Khan as a person.
What up, Retro Arcade Music? Sorry, buddy.
But anyway, Fatal, anything else you want to add? Anything else in the news? I know a bunch of Impact Wrestling people are requesting the release. That was the big news today. A bunch of them, Frost, a whole bunch of them said, you know, they're done.
Shout out to Retro.
So I think I'm a huge fan, and I know Fatal doesn't like him, and I call him kind of that working potential, possibly. Maybe I could see him high mid card. Ricky Starks. I kind of like Ricky Starks. I also like
I
Power.
like them better as a heel. They always flip guys from heel to face.
Well, I think Ricky Starks being a face, I think it'll be pretty interesting to see where they take him with
They
the
did
whole.
it with Kingston. And Kingston needs to get a little bit more in shape.
Yes, yes, and Kingston needs to stop going in the back and causing issues with other wrestlers. Over stupid things, because he gets suspended, and then you lose matches. You know what I mean? You lose time, you lose matches. Good matches that he could have had. He could have had a great match with Sammy Guevara here. And that's another thing with Tony Khan that I want to say here about Tony Khan. When he has an issue with his locker room, he suspends
What
them.
up, Tolliver?
And me and Fatal were talking about this, about interim champions. And I don't know how you feel about this, Pesci. What I don't understand is
fuck those interim champions. Could get over the interim champion.
Well, the thing is, I don't understand is
that only worked with Shawn Michaels and Razor because Shawn left and didn't drop the belt.
Well, here's the thing. I don't understand why, if in the locker room, right, when you're having an issue, right, wouldn't you want to squash that quietly? But instead, you want to kayfabe an injury to pull them off TV because we got to have a therapy session. That's what they did with Thunder Rosa. Right. And then we got to do another interim championship. How many interim championships do we need? That's my question. How many? I'm imagining how much money do they spend on recreating belts in a year in AEW. It's insane to me. Like, how many TNT championship title colors have we seen? Purple, green, red, black. It's insane how much money they spend on belts. It's insane. But Fatal, you want to add anything more to this?
It's like, listen, Tony Khan, if you want an AEW championship belt to display in your office, just fucking make one, my guy. You don't need an excuse. You don't need to make an interim champion so that you have an extra belt laying around. Fucker, just make one.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they do with all the belts, man. Like, they got like 20 different belts, man.
Yeah, I can understand them doing the trios, but dude, you just added 6 Ring of Honor belts.
Everybody gets a belt. It doesn't matter how long you hold it. You get a belt, and 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 you get a belt.
You added a Ring of Honor television champion. What the fuck happened to Samoa Joe again?
Samoa Joe is hurt, supposedly, and then he's now healthy.
Every time we get into Samoa Joe, he disappears.
He is gone. Within a month, he's hurt. This guy, just retire, my dude. Just retire.
Well, supposedly, no.
Joe,
this time it was
Joe.
because of COVID reasons. This time it wasn't. It was for COVID reasons.
Okay, I thought it was his body giving out on him again. I was just like, man, come on, my guy. It's time to just, it's time to just hang your hat.
My thing is, here's my thing.
Leave your boots.
Here's my thing. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I think Chris Jericho's coming down to his last match.
I'm starting to believe
Chris
this. Jericho is going to lean more towards the kind of like how Taker did, and he's going to only show up on rare occasions, and it's probably going to be for more cinematic style matches.
Or like those football in the field matches.
That's what I'm saying. More cinematic style matches. More acting.
The arena match or whatever that shit they had 2 weeks ago was blood.
Yep.
And meanwhile, they think that was a great thing. Meanwhile, you had 5 of your best wrestlers not in singles.
Yeah, that is very much true.
I mean, look at Hager. We just got to see Jake Hager in a singles match for the first time in how long tonight? A while.
And I'm not against
yes,
it.
he lost.
Yeah.
Yes, he lost to Bryan Danielson, but A, it was a good way to get Bryan over. And B, Jake Hager looked good in it too. Because he took Bryan to his limit.
Jake Hager's good talent. It's just unfortunately
he's never not using them.
He's got the look.
You could put him against Wardlow. You know,
Yeah,
like
they did that,
Wardlow
and it was
Wardlow
they
used
did
to
that in a
be on
UFC
Jericho's
match.
side,
They
you
ruined
know?
it. They put them in. You don't remember that? They put Wardlow and Hager in a UFC cage,
Uh-huh.
and it went. I don't think it went well.
It didn't, and nobody liked it, and they were just like, "Okay, them two don't go well together. We'll never put them in a match again."
Yeah,
And then that was that.
right.
Yeah. So getting back into the news, in the wrestlers. Um,
Well, that is news. What do you mean?
well, in the news, Morrissey returns to on AEW.
Oh man.
That was exciting. I was really
Yeah,
excited.
he
Who is
looks
that?
so good.
Who?
W
Oh,
Morrissey.
Big Cass,
Big
formerly known.
Cass.
Okay, yeah, he looked good. He looked great. He should, and he's already had a match against Wardlow. But here's the thing with that. Not saying he can't do good there, but he already has a loss. He lost against Wardlow.
I don't give a fuck how you present him. That motherfucker is 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
And you know
yep.
what? You
can't teach that.
can't teach that.
Can I just say that
And
they need to
my
bring
dude looks
Enzo,
amazing right now.
get
He is
Enzo off of
ripped.
MLW and just bring him
I
back.
like Enzo.
Bring
love
him
Enzo.
back as a mouthpiece for him.
That was my favorite tag team.
I
when they
don't
were
think
together.
Cass wants to be with him anymore.
Well, they
don't.
actually
Yeah.
they do. They actually
From all the
perform.
from
I
all the
don't think
reports
Cass
said
does.
that they
Yeah, I
don't.
don't think
He
Cass-
doesn't want to be with them. They keep doing these little one-off appearances because they keep getting paid big money, and it's too.
Well, from my
bad-
understanding
too
is
good
they go to
turn down.
each indie show and they're wrestling as a tag team.
Yeah, because they're getting paid big money to appear as Enzo and Cass. But from all the reports and everything, and from all the side, interviews that they do with Morrissey, he doesn't want to be on TV with Enzo anymore.
I feel that. Like I totally feel that. So if you guys are in the wrestling, we have Worlds Collide coming soon to unify NXT 2.0 and fucking NXT UK. That pay-per-view's happening too. So
I'm not watching that.
they're unifying a bunch of belts. So you think AEW's doing it bad? NXT's definitely doing a bunch of stuff.
Stupid. We can't even call it NXT 2.0 anymore. It's NXT Heatwave. Heatwave. Like Sunday Night Heat. You guys remember Sunday Night Heat?
Yes.
Yep.
Actually, at one match I'm actually really excited.
Time they fucked up Sunday Night Heat and they gave a pay-per-view to everyone for free.
The one match I'm actually really excited for is Carmelo Hayes and Ricochet. I think that match is going to be gangbusters for the North American title. I think that's going to be a good match. Hands down. Yeah. I also think the next match is going to be good. But I'm a fan, and they're going to give their names back because Nikki's going back to some... Nikki's keeping her name, but Dewdrop's going back to her original name, which I'm really excited for because Dewdrop kind of doesn't, really ring a bell. And Mandy Rose should be on the main roster. I mean, I'm just going to say this. Mandy Rose should lose her title. Go to the main roster at this point.
Yeah, she should.
She wasn't doing good on the main roster, though.
Yeah, well, that was...
Who do you put her with, What do you do with her?
Toxic Attraction. You put her with Toxic Attraction, and you have them win belts on SmackDown. That's what I'm saying. It makes sense.
Belts? Aren't they making only a couple of belts at a time?
Well, in NXT, Mandy Rose made a faction called Toxic Attraction, and they won the tag team belts, and they also Mandy Rose did win the top title. And Mandy Rose's run in NXT has been the best work she's ever done in her career.
Yeah, without a doubt, because she was a dying product in WWE.
Yeah,
other than her being
and then you give her Shawn Michaels for a moment, and then bam, it's literally night and day difference. You could tell Vince McMahon compared to a Shawn Michaels.
And I believe Road Dogg is coming back, so maybe that will help.
That's a drop of the ball on AEW's part. Because Road Dogg knows Billy Gunn. They've been in talks for a while.
AEW, who knows what their finances are? Maybe they just didn't have the money at that moment. They probably have spent a lot of money. I wish that figure would get I think they're supposed to.
Watch
They don't- they're
Watch
not owned by
Wardlow
shareholders.
request. Watch Wardlow request because he's a huge Cavaliers fan. Watch Wardlow request another belt for TNT Championship. Watch him get the Cavalier colors. Watch, and he gets a new belt. Watch, and then does nothing with it. Just like what's his name, and we haven't seen what's his face on television. Him and All Ego Ethan Page. We haven't seen both of those guys in a minute.
They didn't do shit with Ethan Page, literally, since he's come. And then they had Ethan Page kind of promo like a month ago. Why is no one see Ethan Page? And then we haven't seen since then.
Well, same with Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky has not been utilized since the last time he dropped the belt.
Scorpio Sky, I was kind of over. I'm waiting for, where's Kyle O'Reilly? Where's
They're fighting this week.
Casanova.
They're fighting this week on Rampage. The Undisputed Elite. They're in the finale.
Oh, they're the Undisputed Elite.
Yeah. They were going to be called Paragon, and then Tony Khan pulled the plug on that. It was Adam Cole's idea to be called Paragon.
Paragon.
They were going to be called the Undisputed Paragon or the Paragon, and they were going to be called. It was going to be Adam Cole explained it on stream on Twitch, and then literally said Tony Khan shot it down, and then said they're going to be the Undisputed Elite, and have somewhat the same music as what they have in WWE NXT. But anyway, we're gonna wrap it up. Oh, by the way, if you guys didn't know, Velveteen Dream got arrested. For 2 charges for drug paraphernalia and something assault in Florida. So his wrestling career, we all know now, is permanently over. He's going to jail.
Oh,
probably.
It's that bad of a charge? It was that bad of a drug?
Mm-hmm. They dropped the charges on the drug paraphernalia, but the other one is sticking. And they're saying he could face some real charges, like prison time. It's that bad. And what they were saying was WWE was silently gonna bring him back. They were gonna silently bring him back under the Triple H was high up on him, was gonna give him a second chance. That's not happening no more.
AEW dropped the lot.
Well, any final thoughts, guys, on tonight's show? Any final thoughts? Pesci, any final thoughts? You got any final thoughts?
No.
Fatal, final thoughts?
No, I don't believe so.
All right, Fatal.
Really, just got to see where they go in the next couple months.
What are we giving it?
90 days from today will be interesting.
What are we giving AEW tonight? What are we giving?
I'm gonna give them a solid C.
Ooh, damn.
Oh, it's a letter grade rating?
You could do numbers. You could do numbers or letter grade, depend.
I'll do a letter. I'll give it a C as well. C minus.
Yeah, I'd give it a solid C plus.
I give it a C plus
just because of the Moxley promo.
Yeah.
The Moxley promo and the trios match.
I would actually.
Yeah, there Omega had some highlights.
I'm going to go down a little bit. I'm going to give it a C minus now because for 2 reasons. One, I didn't like the opening promo. I really didn't like, the CM Punk promo. I didn't understand it. It threw me off. It felt like a John Cena-esque promo. And my thing is CM Punk is better than that. Personally, I don't know if you guys feel this way, and I know I keep talking and we're supposed to be getting out of here, but CM Punk, what are they doing with him as far as promo work? Because who is talking to him about doing these promos? Because they've been in the trash can. It's like John Cena-esque bad. And
yeah, because if he would have delivered the right promo and gone heel like I felt like he should have tonight, the show would have been a solid B.
He's been getting clowned all over Twitter about it. And it's like, dude, you need to start cutting these promos that you did in WWE. You need to start cutting MJF kind of esque promos. You're acting like a John Cena character, and it's not working in AEW.
And honestly, his best promos were delivered when he was in that feud with MJF.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. What do you think, Pesci, about CM Punk?
God,
and
that
his
shoot
promos?
on telling MJF that he's just a less famous version of The Miz. Oh my God, I died,
That was
bro.
good. Yeah, I don't know. With CM Punk, I don't know how hurt he is. I thought he was on the right path, and now it's like,
My thing
I don't know
is
what's
he
going on.
walked out to that ring like he was not hurt at all. So
It was all
why the fuck?
It's all
Yeah.
kayfabe. It was John Moxley's
Why
idea.
did he kayfabe a fucking sprained
Okay,
ankle?
so if you guys didn't hear, it was John Moxley's
Prima donna.
It was John Moxley's idea for this whole storyline is John Moxley. From my understanding, John Moxley went into the meeting room with Tony Khan before AEW started 2 weeks prior.
To what? Build up more on it?
To build more up on it. That's
build
what
more heat on it?
You're right.
You know.
John
there's
Moxley.
not much more heat on it. If anything, there's more heat on Punk to go heel.
Well, here's what I think and this is me giving a prediction. Here's my prediction. I think CM Punk gets fucked over. I'm really starting to believe in All Out. I think something to do with MJF happens because MJF and Tony Khan have worked out an agreement for more money, and he's promised a title push and this big push. So to me, why wouldn't you have like MJF come out the ring or something and interfere to an extent without getting, disqualification and fuck over?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing is because they don't want to do that. They don't want to be the fuckery, the indecisive finishes and shit like that. They don't want to be the company that starts going towards that.
Well, it would be perfect because you would have MJF screw him over. He loses
and then
cleanly.
it's just a WWE rerun though.
No, not necessarily because you need to have that rubber match with CM Punk and MJF, and you can hold it for months. You can hold it until the next pay-per-view, the big pay-per-view they have, the next biggest one, or Grand Slam. What they could do is hold it for the Grand Slam, their other big TV show that they have per year, and you can have that MJF and CM Punk finale, and you can have then CM Punk takes 2 losses in a month. See, that's the hard spot AEW's in. Do you give CM Punk 2 losses, or do you have CM Punk win his championship back, and then you have MJF?
You definitely can't have him lose. If he loses, it's got to be disqualification or...
Well, you got to fit MJF somewhere because he did get a money extension, and Tony Khan did please him. That was Tony Khan hasn't really admitted to it, but from Dave Meltzer and a lot of these other dirt sheets out there have stated that they've had serious talks and they've been in rooms, and supposedly MJF's going to get this huge, amazing push. So to me,
but for how long? He's getting this big amazing push, but for how long and when will they?
Well, they said they said this big push that he's supposed to be getting is supposed to be ending with the title, and he's supposed to hold it for a very long time. So to me, it screams to me that you have CM Punk.
Who put that leak out and let him know that he's going to have the title for a long time? Tony said a long time.
That was Brian Alvarez and them. Watch them religiously.
No, I believe it.
I
listen to them too.
I just don't like the fact that you don't get their whole show. You have to pay for it. You have to go and pay for it off to the side to get the whole podcast that they do, not just segments. But honestly, that's what I think. I think MJF interferes somewhere, somehow, or comes out at the end and starts beating the shit out of CM Punk. And beats him real
Which
good.
we will never do. Sorry, not meaning to throw you off there, but that's something we will never do. By the way, don't ever bring that to me as even an idea, and I won't do this. I won't do it either. You will never have to be a member. You will never have to join a Patreon or anything to get any type of show. If a show is done, you will have it just being a basic subscriber. Whether you choose to be a member or choose to support a Patreon, that'll be up to you as a viewer.
I will say this into that vein. If we do something special, if it's something really, really special, then I understand. But most times here at SlamZoneSports, we're not doing that. No, hell no. Especially unless we're doing something special with if we're doing a special event with a special
Locally.
wrestler or locally or something of the range, then that's when we'll sit and it'll be a community driven thing. We'll never put anything under a paywall like that. I don't want to do that.
Oh, you have to become a member, and then you get full access to this video.
I don't mean I'm not
You
trying.
know?
I'm not trying to crap on another YouTuber or whatever. I'm not going to turn around and tell you, well, guys, I'm going to a radio show tomorrow, and by the way, just to let you know, I'm going to have special content over there, so you need to pay me $10 a month to get that because we'll never do that here. If we get big like that,
Robbery.
we're not going to sit here and rob you guys blind like that. That's not us here at Slam Zone Sports or Slam Zone Gaming. We're not going to do that shit. Hell no. I'm not into that kind of shit. The hurdles and shit you have to hop over. Anyway, we're going to get out of here. Guys, we're on everything. We're on Trovo. We're on Twitch. We're on YouTube. Videos. This video, as it's done being recorded, we're going to throw it over onto YouTube.
Hello, Laura. Hello, Queen Adele.
Also, last week's show and this week's show will be put up in audio. My apologies to that. We'll get it out there to Spotify, to iTunes, and all that. As this is done. Before I go to bed, today has been a long day for me because of the heat. It was 114 here. It was insane.
Yeah, it's gonna get hot here this weekend too.
Guys, I'm gonna be covering on SlamZoneSports Serena Williams. That's happening. However far she goes, the retirement for her is gonna be interesting when she does retire. Maybe I'll do a reaction, maybe something of the range.
Nicole.
Of it. Football NFL season, we're going to be doing something for that. I know Fatal's got some plans in the works for that. Basketball season, maybe I'll sit here with Pesci. Maybe we'll do a prediction of the season maybe or something, We're also going to be doing some stuff in the basketball because I'm a huge basketball fan. Maybe we'll talk Lakers news, Russell Westbrook, stuff like that. I know Pesci here is a huge Cleveland Cavaliers fan, and we talk religiously about basketball. But anyway, check us out on Twitter. Check us out on all the places. I'll be throwing this up on podcasting places, so you guys will have that for audio. So wherever you're driving and listening to, you guys can listen to it. Make sure to give it a rate, like, and subscribe on the channel if you guys haven't. And, come check us out. Also, check out Sir Joseph Pesci. Thank you for being a guest tonight on the show. I appreciate you.
No problem.
And we'll be doing more with Sir Joseph Pesci's. We'll be doing watch-alongs alongside of him. We're going to be doing a lot more with Sir Joseph Pesci as far as wrestling. Basketball. I know Fatal's not. You're not a basketball person, Fatal, right?
Nope.
So I'll probably be doing as a guest thing with Pesci, probably some basketball talk. We'll do. Fatal likes football, so I know we're all football fans here, so we'll probably be converging and talking shit on each other when it comes to football. But anyway, we are out. We can only host, so I will go and host somebody. But as far as the recording goes, you guys all have a good one. Rate, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.